Number one, the area of a cross-section of a prism is 10 cm square. The length of the prism is 4 cm. So you are asked to find the volume of the prism. Okay, so we know that in a prism, the volume of a prism is equals to base area times height. So this can be also called cross-sectional area. Then times length. So here is the cross-sectional area, okay, which is a pentagonal. Then this is the length. Whereby if you this particular pentagonal based prism, when you stand it up, you notice that tail becomes the base, while this length becomes the height. So with that now, we can say that our volume V is equal to 10 times 4, which will give you what? 40. So you write your 40 here. We move to the next question. The next question asks us to draw a ring right around the scatter diagram that has a positive correlation. Okay, in correlation, what we regard as positive correlation is the correlation that increases that the x value increases as the y value is increasing. Y negative, when the x value is increasing, y value will be decreasing, or when the y value is decreasing, x value will be increasing. So in everything that we have here, the only one that gives us that positive correlation is this particular correlation diagram, okay, or scatter diagram. So we'll move to the next one. The next one, we are asked to classify each of these numbers based on natural numbers and the ones that are not natural numbers. What do you mean by natural numbers? Natural numbers are those numbers that will give you a positive whole numbers, okay? Just like you can see, they say that one has been done for us. This particular one, if you open this bracket, you have 4 times 4, which is 16. 16 times 4, that will give you 64. So it's a positive whole number, okay? So which of these will give us a positive whole number? When you multiply this minus 2 raised to power 3, which is minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2, that will give you minus 8 as your answer. So it's not a positive whole number, so we put it this way. So minus 8, or you can just write your minus 2 cube. Okay, so whichever one you decide to put down there is correct. So this one here will give you minus 8 cube. Of course, that's the reverse of this, of what we have done here. So minus 8 cube roots will give you minus 2. So which we can write minus 8 cube root of that. Okay, or you can just write your minus 2, whichever one you decide to do. But this one will give you 25, which is a positive whole number. So we have our minus there. And if you don't know how this gives you a positive whole number, we have it as minus 5 times minus 5. Minus times minus will give you a positive sign. Then 5 times 5 will give you what? 25. That's how we have that. Then moving to the next one. We are asked to complete the statement using one of these symbols. Okay, so we have less than, or we have greater than. So they want us to put less than, put any of these two signs in the space provided. Now, there's one little trick that you need to understand in solving a problem like this. Okay, when a number is divided by a number that is greater than 1, okay, a number greater than 1, the number will reduce. And when a number is multiplied by a number that is greater than 1, the number increases, okay? Also, when a number is being divided by a number that is less than 1, the number increases. And when the number is divided, is multiplied by a number that is less than 1, the number decreases. So with that, with what I just said now, this number here, 3 over 4, is less than 1, okay? So when it multiplies 20, it tends to reduce, okay? So we have this to be less than 20. Then this number here is 2 whole number, 1 over 5. So that is obviously greater than 1. So when you multiply it by 20, you're going to get a number that is more than 20. So that will give you greater than 20. Then this number here is less than 1. When you use a number that is less than 1 to multiply, to divide a number, so the number will increase, okay? So this number is going to be more than 20. All right, so we move to the next one. The next one is a little equation given to us, which is represented in fraction. So whenever you have a fraction, I always advise you uh, make the both sides of the equations to be a fraction. That is 36 over t equal to 4 over 1, so that you can simply cross and multiply and get the value of the unknown. So when you do that here, you are going to have t times 4 equals to 36 times 1. So when you divide by 4 here, divide by 4 here, 4 will cancel out 4, you have t left. 4 here, 1, 4 here will give you 9. 9 times 1 will give you 9. So what you have here is 9. Okay. So we move to the next one. The next one is we are asked to calculate. Of course, this particular section, there's no calculator, so you have to uh, calculate everything with that calculator. So we are asked to calculate a number. Then in this particular question, you have to obey the order of arithmetic, okay, or order of operation, which brackets must be taken care of first. And bracket being taken care of first means that, first of all, take care of whatever inside the bracket, then get a single number before you can now proceed to your answer. Doing that in this question, we have to take care of what is inside the bracket first before we can proceed to solve everything together. So I'll come back here and do 9 over 8 minus 1 over 2. So taking LCM, which is 8, 8 divided by 8 will give you 1. 1 times 9 will give you 9 minus 8 divided by 2 will give you 4. 4 times 1 will give you 4. So that will give you 5 over 8. Okay, 5 over 8, that's what you have here. Therefore, this whole thing here will give you 1 minus 5 over 8. So 1 is not a fraction. You can just express as a fraction as 1 over 1. You take LCM, which is 8. 8 divided by 1 will give you 8. 8 times 1 will give you 8 minus 8 divided by 8 will give you 1. 1 times 5 will give you 5. So everything you have there is 3 over 8. So you come here and write your 3 over 8. Please always remember to write your answer in the provided space for your answer. Okay, so we have inequality. We are asked to circle out the ones that are right, or the statement that is true, and leave the ones that are not true without circling them. So now we need a little knowledge of square roots. Okay, we know that square root of 7 is going to be between 2 and 3. Why? Because square of 2 will give you 4, and square of 3 will give you 9. Okay, so you can see that 7 is between 4 and 9. So square root of 7 is going to be between 2 and 4 and 3. So this one is wrong. Coming to this one, we have square root of 18. Okay, 18, the two perfect squares beside or bounded around 18 is 16 on this side and 25 on this side. Okay, and square root of 16 will give you 4, and square root of 25 will give you 5. Okay, so square root of 18 will definitely fall between 4 and what, 5. So make this one to be correct. Okay, now coming to this one, we have 36. 36 is already 6, and 6 is not less than 6. Okay, because 6 is actually equal to 6. So it makes this one to be wrong. Coming to this one, we have square root of 50. So square root of 50 should be bounded between 7 and 6. Okay, so because square of 6 is 36 and square of this one is 49, so square root of 50 is going to be between square root of 50 will actually be above 7, because square root of 49 will give you 7. So this one is also wrong. So the only answer that we have that is true there is that 4 is less than square root of 18 and less than 5. Okay, so we move to the next one. This question is on estimation. They say Jamila worked out an estimate of 104.37 times 0.615. She estimates Her estimate is 100 times 1, which is 100. Complete the statement to show how to work out a better estimate of 104.37 times 0.615. Okay, so in this case, we are going to look at the right approximation. If you actually, though we are not asked to use calculator here, but if you actually use calculator to work this out, you find out that the value of this is way below 100. So making 100 as the estimate of this expression is a very wrong one. First of all, we ask ourselves, what of 100 times 1? Of course, will give us 100. So this is the maximum that we should expect. Now, if you look at 104 times 0.6, what would that give us? Okay, so you can work it out, whichever method you decide to use. Okay, I can change this one to fraction, which will give me 104 times 6 over 10. Okay, so this times this will give me 24 here. I write my 4, take my 2, 0, write 2, then 6, 0, 10. That will give me 62.4. So you can see what we have there. That's 104 times 0.6 is giving us 62.4, which is far away from 100. So making the estimate that she made to be very wrong. Okay, so they ask us in which way can we make this a better estimate. So I will say 104 times 0.6 to give us 62.4. So I think this should be a better estimate. Okay. All right, so the next one is a question on probability, and they say that a team can either win, lose, or draw a game of softball. The table shows the probability the team will win or lose a game. Okay, now they ask us to complete the table. We know in probability that the sum of all possible outcomes will give you 1. So we have 0.5 plus 0.4 plus, let's call here x, okay, plus s will give us 1. So that means that x is equal to 1 minus 0.5 minus 0.4. So that will give us 0.1. So we can come here and write our 0.1, or rather, we can actually erase the x that we wrote previously and have our answer. Okay, so move to the next question. They say each diagram shows a pair of angles on parallel lines. Okay, so we have diagram A, diagram B, diagram C, and diagram D. They now ask us to complete the table to show if each diagram show a pair of corresponding angle or not. One has been done for you. So this corresponds, we should write which of the diagram is a corresponding angle, and the one that is not a corresponding angle, we should write it here. So let's go back to the diagram. Diagram A, of course, this is a co-interior angle, so it's not a corresponding angle. That's why we have it here. Diagram B, this is obviously an alternate angle, so which is not a corresponding angle. So I will come here, I will write my B. Now, diagram C, yes, this is a corresponding angle, and diagram D also is a corresponding angle. So I will come and write my C and my D. Okay. So move to the next question. They ask us to write this in standard form, 7 million. So we know that we can just, the way to do this is by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You stop after you have one digit before the decimal point. So that will give you 7.00000 times 10 raised to power 6. Of course, the zeros are not needed, so you can just write your 7 times 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so they ask us, write these numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest. Okay, so we know that between 10 raised to power minus 1 and 10 raised to power minus 1 here, one of these numbers is the smallest, because 10 raised to power minus 1 is something with 0.1, is also 0.1. So this times this will give us 0.64, and this times this will give us 0. So the one that is smaller here is this. So we can write this. They say write these numbers in order. So they don't expect us to write it as an ordinary number. So we write our 5.5 raised to power minus 1, 6.4 raised to power minus 1. Okay. So we have 5 quadrilaterals as shown on the grid. So this the object itself is P. We have different images. So they now ask us the quadrilateral P is transformed by reflection followed by translation. Draw a ring around the unshaded quadrilateral that is not possible image of. Okay. So from what we can see, we have only reflection and the translation. So there's no form of enlargement. So we are not going to be expecting a bigger shape from P. And if you look here, this diagram here, okay, this diagram here look bigger than P, which of course not even enlarged properly, but is bigger than P. So it's not even a transformation of P because only one side was enlarged. Only one side of the shape was enlarged. Okay. So it's not a possible image of the product of P. So move to the next one. They ask us to show each fraction that is equivalent to a reoccurring decimal. So each one of them is equivalent to a recurring decimal. So starting from 1 over 6, they say, let's read the question again to understand what they are asking us. They say T to show each fraction that is equivalent to a recurring decimal. So which fraction that will keep giving you decimal numbers, okay? That will keep giving you a repeating number that will not stop at any point. So we can divide and find out which one. So we have 1 over 6. If I divide this 0 point, I add 0 here, making it 10. How many will I get? 1. Remember what? 4. Add 0 to it. 6 in 4 will give us 6. Remember 4. 6 in you add 0, that will give you 6, 6, 6, 6. It will continue that way. Okay. So you can put dot or put points. That's how to represent your current decimal. Okay. For 6 over 8, that will give us 2 here will give us 3, 2 there will give us 4. Okay, this can go. So you put 0, add 0 to this, making it 10. 4 here will give us 4 in 30, will give us, okay, we have 8 times 3, no, so 7. Okay, that's 7. 7 remainder, how many? 2. So we add 2 to it, 0 to it. 4 here will give us 5. So that's not a recurring decimal. So let's try the next one. 4 over 12 will give us 1 over 3. 1 over 3, of course, will give us 0.333. That's a recurring decimal. So our answer is this. They say we should take the one that, they say we should show the one that is equal to recurring decimal. So we are taking the one that is a recurring decimal. So which is this and this. Okay, so move to the B part of their question. They say that n is an integer where 0 is less than n less than 15. N over 15 is equivalent to terminating decimal. What we mean by terminating decimal is a decimal of this nature. Okay, that's at a point it will stop, it can't continue. So that's terminating decimal. So they ask us from the number 0 to 15, which of them or how many numbers that we can replace as n, okay, that will give us a terminating decimal. Now, let me explain this question because we need to understand the question. They're asking us, if I pick all the numbers between 0 and 15 and replace it as n, how many of such numbers is going to give me a terminating decimal? Okay, they are not asking me to pick from here. They're not asking me to pick from here. They're asking me between, of course, 0 to 15 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they're asking me when I pick all these numbers, how many of them will give me terminating decimal? Okay. So 1 over 15 will not give me a terminating decimal. 2 over 15. So how many we have is 4. So the numbers between 0 and 15 that we can put at the numerator to give us a terminating decimal, they are about 4 numbers. Okay. So you can see that that question is actually exhausting, considering the amount of mark that is awarded for that particular question. Is part of the type of question that I always advise students to make sure that they do when they are done solving all the questions that are very simple to solve, so that you'll not be trying to solve a problem like this for 1 mark and the time will be going. Imagine that you don't know what to do or how to divide fraction and you are doing a whole lot of numbers like this. So that would be a lot. Okay, so we move to the next question now. So the next question is like a sequence from what I can see. So they say that 7 raised to power 1 will give us 7. The last digit is 7. 7 raised to power 2, 49. The last digit is 9. 7 raised to power 3 is 343. The last digit is 3. So they continue like that. Last digit 1 like that. Last digit of 7 raised to power 5 is 7. So they now ask us the final digit of 7 raised to power n is 1. Write down a possible value of n if n have to be greater than 7. Okay, so if n have to be greater than 7, so let's notice the pattern. So greater 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 1. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 will give us 1. Okay, so and that 8 is greater than 7, so n can be what? 8. Okay, so you can still continue like that. So I think the numbers that will give us last digit of 1 are multiples of 4. So 4 here is 1, 8 will give us 1. I think 7 raised to power 12 we should also give us 1. So the next question under that, they now ask us to use the same pattern to find the final digit of 22. Okay, 7 raised to power 22. So is it going to be 7, 9, 3, or 1? So let's find out. Um, okay, let's use this one that we know. So if the multiples of 4 is giving us 1, that means 7 raised to power 20 will give us last digit of 1. 21 will give us 7, and 22 will give us 9. So that will give you last digit of. Okay, next question is a question on arithmetic operation involving fraction. But now we have to be careful with the sign. So you can multiply. Of course, you're showing your work, these 2 marks, so they will expect you to show your working. So the first thing I will do here, I can divide first, whichever method you decide to use. Okay, I can first of all remove this fraction since this is multiplying. So let me multiply. So I'll go somewhere and do my 1.8 times 6. That will give me 8 times 6 will give me 48. I have my 8, take 4. 6 times 1 will give, so that's 104. So I'll have my minus 0.8 all over minus 0.2. So minus minus will give us plus. Okay, then I can write this in fraction. So this is 108 over 10 divided by 2 over 10. Okay, because 2 over 10 is something with 0.2. So when you put that, you have 108 over 10 times 10 over 2. So 10 will go 108 over 2. That will give us 54. So our answer here is 54. Okay, moving to the next question. They say that we should construct an angle of 30 degrees. The construction has been started for you. All right, so we know how to construct our 30 degrees. If we want to construct our 30 degrees here, the first thing we normally do is to get our semicircle. With the same radius, you create an arc which is 60 degrees. Then from here, you can bisect this arc. Okay, so that will give you your 30 degrees here. So if you look at this, what I have done here compared to this, you will notice that here is our point A now, okay, which this is a semicircle. So you use your compass and complete this semicircle here. Okay, so from here to here, or let me do something like this, is 60 degrees. So you need to bisect this. When you put it here, you create an arc with your compass, put it here, create another arc with your compass. You now join this line. Okay, so half of this now will give you what? 30 degrees. So with your compass, you also should be looking far better than what I have just done now. Just sketch. So you are using compass to do that on the paper, so it should be better and look very nice. Okay. So moving on to the next question, they say that a function is defined by this function machine. You input, multiply. Whenever you input a number, you multiply it by 2. It goes to the next box. You take the cube, then you now have an output. Okay. So let's take that initiative to solve for input of 5. When you input 5, 5 times 2 will give us 10. So 10 coming here, 10 cube will give us 1000. So we have 1000 here. 10 cube means 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 times 10 is 100, 100 times 10 is 1000. So we'll do the same thing here. It's multiplied by 2. We multiply here by 2, you have 3. When you take cube of 3, that's 3 times 3, which is 9 times 3. That'll give you 27. So here will be what? 27. Okay, so they now ask us calculate the input when the output is 64. So this time around, we are no longer moving from input to output, rather we are now coming from output to what? Input. So we are going to take opposite of whatever operation that we have taken here. So that will give us from minus 64, we have to take square root. Okay, cube root now. Okay, cube root, we have to take cube root. So cube root of minus 64, cube root of minus 64 is going to give us minus 4. Okay, because minus 4 times 4 will give us 16, and 16 times minus 4 will give us minus 64. Okay, so with this minus 4, instead of multiplying by 2, we are not going to divide by 2, so that will give us minus 2. So minus 2 becomes our answer. Okay, so you can as well try it. If minus 2 is the input, minus 2 times 2 will give us minus 4, and minus 4 cube will give us minus 64. Okay, so Perry spins this pair spinner twice. Okay, so she spins that spinner twice. He add together his two numbers to get a total. Perry makes two statements. Okay, tick to show if each statement is true or false. Okay, so the first one is that the possible total are 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The possible total. Okay, let's check. Can we get 2? Yes. 1 will give us 2. Can we get 3? Yes. 2 will give us 3. Can we get 4? Yes. 2 can give us 4. Can we get 5? Yes. 3 will give us 5. Can we get 6? Yes. 3 can give us 6. So that first statement is correct. Okay, so for the next one, they say that the total is 3. Okay, the probability of getting 3 equal to 1 over 5. Let's see how that can be possible. They say probability of getting 3, no, we have 1 3, so which is 1 over, we have total of 3 numbers, 1 over 3 should be probability of getting a 3, so that is false. Okay, so moving on to the next one is simultaneous equation. So we are asked to solve, and of course you'll be required to show your working. So using the simplest method of solving simultaneous equation, which is elimination method, I multiply this by 1, I multiply this by 2. Why? Because I want to eliminate x, and x here is 2, so I multiply the whole of this equation by 2, and the coefficient of x here is 1. I multiply the whole of this equation here by 1. So doing that, I'm going to have 2x minus y equals to 17. Then I'm going to have 2x plus 6y equal to minus 4. So when you subtract this minus this, will give you 0. Minus y minus plus 6y will give you minus 7y equal to 17 minus minus 4. Minus minus will give you plus, so 17 plus 4 will give you 21. So when you divide both sides by minus 7, so you have minus 7y over minus 7 equal to 21. This and this will go, y will give you minus 3. Okay, so you put it in any of the equation to get your x. So I will put it in this second one. So I have x plus 3y equal to minus 2. Replace your y as minus 3. You have x plus 3 into minus 3 equals to minus 2. So x minus 9 equals to minus 2. S equals to minus 2 plus 9. That is when 9 cross over equality sign. The sign of the 9 will change. Okay, so that is s equals to 7. We have gotten our y as minus 3 and our x as 7. So we need to be sure of our answer by putting them in the equation to be sure. So I can check somewhere. 2 into x is 7 minus 3. This will give you 14. This will give you plus 3. That will give you 17. Okay, you can also check the second one as s is 7 plus 3 into minus 3. That will give you 7 minus 9, which is equal to 2. So our answers are correct. So you can come back here and get your answer 7 and 3. Okay, so the next one is a graph. Okay, we are asked to draw a graph for this. If the value of s is between minus 3 and 3, you may use the table to help. Okay, so we are asked to use the table to help. So the first thing I will do is to complete this table. That will enable me to locate the point where I'm going to draw the curve. Okay. So when s is minus 3 square will give me 9, 9 plus 2 will give me 11. When s is minus 2 square will give me 4, 4 plus 2 will give me 6. When s equals to minus 1 square will give me 1, 1 plus 2 will give me 3. When s equals to 0, 0 square will give me 0 plus 2 will give me 2. 1 square will give me 1 plus 2 will give me 3. For 2, 2 square will give me 4, 4 plus 2 will give me 6. 3 square will give me 9, 9 plus 2. Okay, so with this point now, you come back here and hit all these coordinates. Okay, minus 3 and 11. This minus 3, 11 is somewhere else. So you put your point. I'm going to minimize this so that we can be able to see. Oh. Okay, so the next one is 2, 2 and 6. 2 and 6 is here. The next one is minus 1 and 3 is here. The next one is 0, 0 and 2 is here. The next one is 1, 1 and 3. So the graph is symmetric. 2 and 6 and 3 and 11. Okay, so all we need to do is to carefully plot our curve. Okay, let me try and see. Oh, is this just how your curve is likely to look like? Mine won't look so nice. Oh, okay, so that's how your curve is likely to look. Okay. All right, so we move to the next question. If you plot that well, that your curve will look better than this. All right, so the next question we have is that a quadrilateral has an area of 5 cm square. The quadrilateral is enlarged by a scale factor of 4. Calculate the area. So the first thing we need to do is to find, okay, the quadrilateral is enlarged by a scale factor of 4. So it means that k is equal to 4. So if k equal to 4, that means k square will give us 4 square. That means k square will give us 16. So it simply means that we are going to multiply this by 16. So 16 times 5, that will give us 0.3 here. That will give us 80. So we are going to have 80 cm square as the area of the enlarged quadrilateral. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. The next one is a question on stem and leaf. So they say back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Okay, there are 20 children in a class A and 20 in class B. Each child completes a test. Okay, the back-to-back stem and leaf diagram shows some of the marks scored by the children. The highest mark for class A is not included. Okay. Oh, the highest mark for class B is not included. So there's still a higher mark which we don't know yet. Okay. So they gave you the key, represent the class mark of 14 in class A and 10 in class. Okay. The range of mark for class A is the same as the range of mark for class B. Okay, so that will help us to get the highest mark for. So first of all, um what's the range for class A since it's the same as the range in class B? So the highest in class A is going to give us, the highest in class A is 65. No, is 56, while the lowest is 14. Okay, so 56 minus 14, so that will give you 42. And we don't know the highest for class B, but we know that the lowest is 8. So we call it equals to x minus 8. So when this minus 8 move over here, we have 42 plus 8 equals x. Therefore, the highest, which is going to give you that x equals to 50. Therefore, the highest mark in class B is 50. Okay, so that's going to be the highest mark in class B since the range are the same. All right, so moving to the next one, we say that take to show if each conclusion is true or false. Okay, so they say a total of 5 students in the two classes scored less than 15. So it means that the total number of students that scored less than 15 in the two classes are 5. So let's go and find out. So we have 14. So one person in class A. Then here we have 8, 9. That's 3 people. 10, 13. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5. That's scored less than 15. So they say total of 5 students in the class scored less than 15. So that's true. Then for the modal mark, they say that the modal mark for class A is greater than the modal mark for class B. So let's find the modal mark of class A. So you can see the modal mark here. Okay, that's 30. While the modal mark here is 24. Okay, so it's obvious that the modal mark that 30 is more than 24. So that is correct. So it's true that the modal mark in class A is greater than the modal mark in class B. Okay, so in this question, we are given the perimeter of a rectangle A, and we are also given the perimeter of rectangle B. And looking at the value of the perimeter, we can see that they have equal perimeter. But here in the statement given for the question, they say that the length of the rectangle B is 2.5 cm less than the length of rectangle A. Now we need to understand that the perimeter is equals to 2L plus 2B, which is 2 times length plus 2 times the breadth or the width. So we are going to use that to find the value of our length and breadth. Okay, so with the perimeter, with the ratio given to us 5:2, we can say 5 plus 2, which will give us 7. So 56 divided by 7, that will give us 8. So the length we have, or the total value of the length, which is 2L, is equals to 5 times 8. And the breadth or the width, okay, the width is what is used, is equals to, or 2 of the width equals to 5 or 8 times 2. Okay, so it simply means that 2L is equals to 40. So L, let's use LA for the first rectangle. So LA will give us 20. While if we do the same thing here, we'll find that WA will give us 8. Okay, so we have gotten the length and the breadth of the rectangle A. So let us do the same thing for rectangle B. For rectangle B, information given to us here is that the length of rectangle B is equal to length of rectangle A minus 2.5, because they say that is 2.5 less. So that will give us that length of rectangle B equals to 20 minus 2.5. So length of rectangle B equal to 17.5. So with that value there, we can be able to find the width of rectangle B. So since the perimeter equals to 2LB plus, let's use WB, that's the width of B, okay, 2 also, we can say that 56 now equals to 2 into 17.5 plus 2 into WB. Okay, 17.5 times 2, that will give us 35. So 56 minus 35 equals to 2WB. Okay, so 56 minus 35, that will give us 21 equals to 2WB. Therefore, WB equals to 10.5. Okay, so we have gotten the width of the second, that's this one. So to confirm our answer, we need to find that, okay, if we multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2, we're going to get 56. This 2 here will give us uh 2 here will give us 35, while 2 here will give us 21. 35 plus 21 will give us this. So let us now work out the ratio. So we have 17.5 ratio 10.5. So that will give us 175 ratio 105. 35 here will give us 5. 35 here will give us 3. So the ratio is going to give us 5 ratio 3. Okay, so that's how to solve that problem. So moving on to the next one, we have that a term to term rule for a sequence is multiplied by 2. The first term of the sequence is A, and the sum of the first term and the third term is 35. Work out the sum of the first two terms. Okay, so they say you keep multiplying by 2. It simply means that the first term is A, the second term is 2A, and the second next term is 4A. So they say that the sum of the first term and the third term is 35. Therefore, A plus 4A equals to 35. So that will give you that 5A equals to 35, which make A to be equals to 7. That's because when you divide both sides by 5, you will get 7. So with the 7 now, we can be able to come back here and have 7, 14, 4 times 7, that will give us 28. Okay, so these are the terms. Therefore, the sum of the first two terms is equal to 14 plus 7. That will give us 21. So we'll come to the space and write our, because that's what they ask. What are the sum of the first two terms? Okay, so 26 question. A polygon has 7 sides. The mean of the 6 side of the smallest angle is this. So uh, calculate the size of the largest angle. Okay, so when they say the mean, of course, you add all the angles and divide by 6. That will give you this. So it simply means that the total, therefore, the total of the 6 angles will give you 6 times 115, which will give you this times this 30. So I write 0, take 3. That will give us 9, and that will give us 6. So which will give us 690 degrees. So this is the sum of the 6 angles. So we need to find the value of the 7th angle, whereby in a 7-sided polygon, the sum of angles will give you 7 minus 2 times 180. That will give us 6 times 180. 6 times 180. So the solution x to the equation, this 4s equals to this is an integer, p is a positive integer. Find the possible values of p. Okay, so the first thing I will do here, they say that the solution x to the equation, okay, is an integer. P is a positive integer. Find the possible values. Okay, so we are looking for the values of p that will make x to be an integer. Okay, so we solve this. So we have 4x equals to 12 minus ps. Collect like terms. 4s minus plus now because it's crossing over a positive sign, plus ps equals to 12. So that will give us that x into 4 plus p equals to 12. Therefore, x equals to 12 over 4 plus p. So at what value of p that will give us, that will make this expression to be a whole number? Okay, p can be 0, but they say that it has to be a positive integer. Okay, so if it has to be a positive integer, p can be 0, can be 2, because, and can also be 8. Okay, so find a possible value for p. So it's either 2 or 8, because they say it's a positive integer. So that's how we can solve that, and that's the last question for this paper. So we are done solving this problem. Oh, we missed a particular question. Let's quickly solve that. They say that this will give us this, okay, and this will give us that. Okay, find the value of this. So first of all, from here, that's if we express this in the way it should be, that will give us 4.5 times 10 raised to power a number that will give us 4,500. So that should be raised to power 3. Okay, but since we are doing 0.4 times 0.45, it's going to be raised to power 4 equals to 4 times 4,500. Okay, so let's check and be sure. This raised to power 4 means 10,000, and 10,000 times 0. That will give us that. So our P is equals to 4. Then we come to Q. This will give us this. So first of all, let's express this in standard form. Express this in standard form. See, can that help? Okay, let's see. Uh, this one will give us, if I take this in 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Okay, so that will give us 507 times 10 raised to the power 5. Oh, minus 5. Okay, minus 5 will give us this. Yes, it will give us this. Okay, this minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and minus. Okay, give us this. So that makes Q to be equal to minus 5. So if we're looking for this, that will give us 0.038 divided by 10 raised to power 4 plus 2 into minus. So that will give us 0.038 divided by 10 raised to power. This is minus 10, so that will give us minus 6. So if we have it as minus 8, is the same thing with changing this to multiplication will make this to be 6. So that will give us 0.038 times 10 raised to power 6. Okay, so with that, that will give us 0.038 times 10 raised to power, okay, 0.00000. So we multiply this by a million. This one here will cancel this one here will cancel this. Or when you bring this one here, one of these will cancel. When you bring this one here, one of these will cancel. When you bring this one here, one of these will cancel. So you have this times this, which will give you 38000. Okay, so our answer is 38000. Okay. Okay, so we have 2 here. This time this will give us 5. 5 times 180 will give us 900. So we now have the largest as 900 minus 690. So that will give us 210. Okay, so the last question that we have, let me explain that again. Okay, so we are told that x is a positive or is an integer, and p have to be a positive integer. So all we need to do is to make s subject of the formula from here. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. Take this over here, we have 4x plus px equals to 12. So you factor x out, so you have 4 plus p equals to 12. So when you add it, when you divide both sides by 4 plus p, you have that 12 over 4 plus p as the value of x. Now they say that p have to be positive. So which positive number that we can put in place of p in order for us to have x as an integer? Okay. Remember they say that x have to p has to be a positive integer also. Okay. So p have to be 2 because when you put 2 here, you have 4 plus 2, which will give you 6. 12 divided by 6 will give you a whole number, or 8, which is 4 plus 8, which is 12. 12 divided by 12 will give you a whole number. So these are the two values of that p can be in order to get x as an integer. Okay. All right. So I think we have tried in this particular lesson to solve problem on checkpoints for October 2023. Okay, paper 1. So you check back for the paper 2 because I'm going to do that right away. Thank you very much for your time. Remember to subscribe and share our videos. See you in the next video. Thank you.